So, folks, here we are again, still with the world above me, and the world today, especially for you, is being enlightened, as you see. When the age of enlightenment breaks, everything comes to light, and the beginning of the dawn of a new age, of a new era in rock and roll comes up as we come running through a Beatles anthology, running up or down or whatever hill we're chasing. We come to the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which I have in 3 different first presses for you here. And this is what is said to be the peak of rock and roll music, the top end turning point of it all. Widely acclaimed and renowned as probably the best and most influential Beatles album of them, although it's meanwhile overtaken a bit, as I suppose, by Abbey Road, which most people nowadays prefer. So, the place of being number one in the oeuvre is taken away from that one, from the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I have it here as a first press of the U.S. an American first press. It's with the green apple label, which you can see here. And this one, although it's a first press, is really shallow. It is dumb, it is dull, it is boring. It has neither any kind of accentuation in the highs, nor does it have a very clear or allowing mid-balanced area, nor any bassy deep down space that is just humming it down or up. I don't know, it's just nothing. It's a really shallow and superficial sound. I'm sorry to say, but it's not worth giving it a listen. The U.S. first press of the Sgt. Pepper's, which we put aside, thankfully for having heard it, because it will lead us to what we find from then on, climbing up the ladder towards the best. And all that we have here are stereo versions, by the way, you can see it here. Stereo, which is due to the fact that I don't have it in mono. I still I recommend the whole Beatles works as monophonic works. This is what they're meant for, but these pressings are such expensive, and I don't find any anywhere. And if they're nearly unaffordable, if you find them, you will get it straight, crisp, punching you a slap in the face right towards your head. That one monophonic room, the prison that you are in, the prism of the Beatles music, which is a first-class Wonderland cell, and the whole world is made with paper wall of gold, and it's shiny, and it's like being inside a diamond. Only coal elements there, 100% perfect. But what we have is we have it in stereo, and Beatles stereo is always a bit of an inferior quality. It's, as you know, the voice is on the one side, on the other channel you have the instruments. Sometimes a bit better, but it's not really brilliant. This is what the Hertz-2 did of it. The first German press is a Hertz-2 press, and that's the first press with this, strangely enough, pink, red, cross or length striped here. They sort of a zebra crossing, which was about to change for the Abbey Road one then into a real one. And you have it, as you can see, on the Odeon label in Germany. The German Hertz-2 made the Please Please Me, it made the Rubber Soul, the first press in Germany, also the Revolver, then the Help, also the Sgt. Pepper's, and lately the legendary Magical Mystery Tour. I'll show you this again because I always have to recommend in anything that I put online here, which is probably the best ever record production of a Beatles record being made in true stereo. They took out the compression nearly fully on the Please Please Me release, and on that one as well, which leads to this full architectural and overwhelming sound, which they didn't quite manage to reach in this one here. I don't know what happened, but this is a bassy sound. It's so deep down low. Once Sgt. Pepper starts, once it begins, the bass is so heavy and so overaccented. You really have to be careful and watch out, because this might ruin your amplifier. It might just blow it away. And I was close to getting into a sort of skipping on the amplifier, and then it can happen really your amplifier, and with it can also happen the speakers. And once the speakers and the amplifiers are ruined, it's going to be really expensive. The German Please Please Me is way from the American one. It's way better. It's raw, it's brutal. It really is a slap in the face. It is punchy, it is hard, but it's not the sort of harmonic, peaceful expression you also want to have when you listen to a Beatles album, because Beatles are a melodic thing. They really they had the skills, the technical means of putting together great melodies and being very musical. This isn't quite it. It's way better. It's hard, but it's not what I have here. And this is the first UK release of the Sgt. Pepper's album. It's on the, as you see, on the Parlophone label, and this is perfect. At least for the stereo release, it's the best I have, the best I found. It's renowned, it's outbalanced, it's harmonic, it's just a whole impression of an artwork that rests in itself, that is peaceful, that is melodic, that has everything it takes and brings it all together. Neither the highs are over accentuated, nor the bass line is too deep, too heavy, too hard, too harsh, too groovy. It is not, and the mids are well integrated into that whole appearance of the record as well, and that makes it together, all in one, as we come to the final conclusion, as one perfect piece of artwork. You know, the Sgt. Pepper's, when it appeared, it was often talked about before that they would make a two record LP, and if they had enough material, whether they had it or not, I don't know. In the end, it was one record. It just blew away everything that was before. It set a mark in the development of modern music, of e-music, and from that on, it was the benchmark which was to be reached, and the Stones tried to reach it with their Satanic Majesty's request, which was an answer to Sgt. Pepper's. Also, the Beach Boys tried to reach again, although as I think I have in mind, their Pet Sounds was a bit earlier. But nevertheless, as John Lennon said, technically it was nothing but a Beatles record named Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, with a series of well-made pop songs on it. Mystically put, it was the change of everything, the begin and the dawning of a new age of enlightenment in pop music, and from that moment on, pop music was able to reach the summit, the very peak of symphonic classical music, almost, of the serious part of the whole music fraction. And that moment started with Sgt. Pepper's, and at the age of the hippie times of smoking pot, this appeared with this lovely cover. You heard the stories about all the people that are pictured here. You may name them one by one, which we shall not do, because we have here in the UK First Press probably the best stereo version we could possibly have with the Sgt. Pepper's. So if you want to buy one that is still affordable, please go for this, where there were others made, like on the the hi-fi show in Sydney that are unaffordable nowadays, up to $2,000, by a cutter named Dave Bartlett, who managed to cut the 15 kilohertz tone and put on one of the best ever made records, with about 500 copies being sold, and also the Nimbus version from 1984. And as well, it has to be said, the UHQ R1, one of only 7 UHQRs originally being produced. And as I see, time is running out for me now. So these are the superior ones, but they are up to $2,000. If you want to waste that much amount of money, you can do so. If not, go for the first British pressing. The Hertzu is spectacular. It's also funny, but please avoid this, not the American one. And there you have it, Sergeant Pepper's and the turning point in history when the Age of Enlightenment began and the world above me was inflamed.